In the heart of London lived the Darling family, Mr. and Mrs. Darling, their daughter Wendy, and her two younger brothers, John and Michael. Every night before bed, Wendy would tell her brothers fantastical tales of pirates, mermaids, and daring adventures. What they didn't know was that one of her story's heroes was real, Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up. One evening, as the children prepared for bed, Peter Pan himself flew into their nursery. With him was his tiny fairy companion, Tinker Bell. He had come searching for his shadow, which he had lost during an earlier visit to London. Wendy, delighted, helped him sew it back on. So enchanted by her kindness, Peter invited Wendy and her brothers to come with him to Neverland, a magical island where children could stay young forever. With a sprinkle of Tinker Bell's pixie dust and a bit of belief, they lifted off the floor and soared out the window. They flew over the rooftops of London and across the starlit sky until they reached the mystical island of Neverland. Neverland was a place of endless summer days filled with adventure. There were dark forests, sparkling lagoons, and waterfalls that sparkled like diamonds. Here, time stood still and children could play forever. Peter showed them his home among the trees and introduced them to the Lost Boys, a band of children who, like him, never grew up, but Neverland was not all fun and games. It was also home to danger, especially the fearsome pirate Captain Hook. Hook and his crew of evil pirates had only one goal: to capture Peter Pan and take over Neverland. You see, Peter had once cut off Captain Hook's hand in battle and fed it to a crocodile. This made the crocodile grow bigger and stronger, and now it followed Hook everywhere, its ticking clock echoing ominously. Hook seized with hatred for Peter, and he was determined to get his revenge. And so it was that, upon their arrival, the Darling children were swept into Peter's world. They met friendly mermaids who swam with them and played games. They made friends with the native inhabitants who became their allies. And they encountered the mischievous Tinker Bell, who at first was jealous of Wendy. Tink didn't like that Peter was paying so much attention to the new girl, as she plotted to get rid of her. She tricked the Lost Boys into thinking Wendy was an enemy, and they all chased her away. Peter almost lost his life trying to save her, and when he learned what Tinker Bell had done, he banished her from the fairy hollow, though his heart still cared for her. Meanwhile, Captain Hook was busy plotting his revenge. He had heard about Tinker Bell's jealousy and decided to use it to his advantage. He disguised himself as Peter and tricked her into revealing Peter's hideout. Then he assembled his crew and attacked the Lost Boys' camp. He captured Wendy, John, Michael, and all the Lost Boys except for Peter. Hook tied them all up on the deck of his ship, the Jolly Roger, and threatened to make them walk the plank unless they joined his crew. But Tinker Bell had escaped Hook's clutches. She flew to the Darling children, warning them of the danger they were in. Realizing that she had made a terrible mistake, Tinker Bell vowed to make things right. She led the children to an old and wise mermaid who gave them magic beans. These beans were no ordinary beans, though. They could grant any wish. Wendy wished for her brothers, John and Michael, to be set free. Michael wished to have an adventure, and John wished for Captain Hook to be caught. But Tinker Bell, consumed with guilt, wished for Peter Pan to be freed. As Peter approached the ship, Hook ordered his men to shoot him down, but the bullets had no effect on Peter. He was too quick for them. He dodged and darted around the ship, all the while taunting Hook. Suddenly, Hook lost his balance and fell overboard. Peter had cut off his hand in battle and fed it to a crocodile. This made the crocodile grow bigger and stronger, and now it followed Hook everywhere, its ticking clock echoing ominously. The crocodile seized Hook and dragged him down into the murky depths of the Neverland Sea. The Lost Boys cheered, and the Darling children knew that Neverland was safe once more. Peter then waved his magic and turned the ship into a magical vessel lifted by pixie dust. Together, they sailed it through the skies back to London. Wendy, John, and Michael returned to their nursery. Their hearts were full of wonder, knowing that the magical island of Neverland was only a sprinkle of pixie dust and a good night's sleep away. Wendy now understood that even though she couldn't stay in Neverland, she could carry the joy and wonder within her forever. Peter, the eternal boy who never grew up, took Wendy aside. He told her that as long as she believed in fairies, he would never be far away. And with that, he and Tinker Bell soared back toward the stars, leaving behind the echo of laughter and the reminder that in every child's heart, there will always be a place for Neverland.